Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Liverpool stream, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot to talk about today, a lot to discuss. We're going to be talking about whether the Liverpool fans are getting too giddy after the first 3 games of the season. We're going to be talking about Ryan Gravenberch. You get me? We're going to be talking about Mo Salah's legacy. There's a lot of conversations for us to talk about, a lot for us to discuss today. Big up to everyone who's locked in. There's already 100 people in here. We haven't even started yet. I didn't realize England are playing at the same time. But to be fair, this stream is going to be better than the England game anyway. You get me? So hold that. Anyway, make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. And let me introduce today's panelists. First and foremost, making his return to the channel, you get me, one of the OG members, Liverpool Therapy. I wanted him on the last time as well, but it was his son's birthday, so please do wish his son a happy birthday in the chat as well. The man, the myth, the legend, the calmest man in the room, as per usual. Man like G is in the building. How are you doing, G, man?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. And it wasn't even my son's birthday. It was my birthday. I said what? I said it was my birthday. I didn't say it was my son's birthday. I said it was my birthday. But pick up,
happy birthday, G. Happy birthday, G. So so I must have read something wrong then, because I
said my son started school. No, he started school the same day as my birthday. So I had my birthday.
So I read that as school. It's your son's birthday. That's the thing that I read.
It's all blessed, man. But no, I'm happy to be back, man. Happy to be back, bro. I miss. You know what? I can't lie. Obviously, I don't miss that period of time, but I miss the therapy episodes, man. That was good. That was good timing, man. That was good time.
Yeah. I can't lie to you, the therapy stuff was really fun. The book club as well was really fun.
Oh, the book club. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We were crap in terms of football, but like as us just talking about the club and stuff, it was fun, to be fair.
It was good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, big up to you, G. Welcome back. Joining us as well on the channel is one of the other members of Liverpool Therapy. He's the guy that was latest, you get me, because apparently it's fashionable to be late. I don't know who told him it's fashionable to be late. I don't know who gave him that concept, that idea. His camera switched off, and I'm doing this on purpose just to irritate him. You get me? You know, he's always has some form of excuse. Oh, I'm in Monaco today. I'm in Milan today. Oh, I've got to get my cup of tea ready. You get me? Just the biggest posh guy on YouTube. Man like Rax is in building. Hi, Rax.
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. I concur 100% with G. G, when's your birthday? Mine's on the 4th of September, so we're pretty close together, man.
5th of September. Virgos.
Almost. Great minds almost think alike. Happy birthday to you, bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Husam, glad to be back. Second time in a row. We're in a good mood. Which I always appreciate, considering the tortures we went through. I remember those fateful weeks, those fateful days when we did book club. That was an international break as well, right? Wasn't that international?
Yeah, we did the book club episode. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh dear. I don't know if that's what's poisoned international breaks for me or not, but yeah, certainly left a scar or two. But yeah, I'm good to be back, man. Thanks for having me on.
Big up. Welcome back. Johnny from the channel as well.
Can I also just say this background image thing? You will not find a more handsome 5 Liverpool fans on YouTube. Just check this back. Sam, can you put the background on? Not just that, and then we've got the people in the football players in the background. I think that is.
I can, but then I have to remove everyone. That's the wrong person. That's the way to. That's the only way.
I like the thumbnail. I might have to steal the Sam's thumbnail ideas. Just letting him know.
To be fair, Vel makes them. It's not even me. So yeah, I pay him. He gets paid really well. The only guy that gets paid more than him on YouTube is Skullthuggery. Little fraud. Did you see what he done with my sign?
No.
Oh, we're about to. Let me show you, my brother. You know how
big up Bellman. Say that again?
You know people hang up banners?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a quiz question right now. Guess what's wrong with this image right here?
It's upside down.
Oh, subscribe of all the things. But the thing is, I can't lie. I always do that with the word subscribe. I always do that. I always miss the R. I don't know why. That's mad though. Because the thing is, the banner's solid.
I pay him to make these. You get me? Hold on. But then I got a new one, which we will be hanging up soon. You get me? Of which it is spelled correctly. So I made him fix his mistake, and then I made a new banner. You get me? This will be hung up right behind
Yeah,
me.
that's
Right
dope. I
here.
like that. I like that.
See? Now he learned how to spell, but it is what you didn't get hacked. Well, don't lie to the people. Anyway, you saw him come out. You get me? Not in that way. I mean, come out like in terms of come out
Saying
on
you're
the
gonna have to move
stream.
on for life.
What an intro!
Appear on the stream by mistake. You get me? Appear on the stream, not come out. That sounds so wrong. I'm so sorry. You get me? But it is what it is. So appear on the stream, on accident. But finally, his celebrity ass has made it on Don Husam. You get me? The celebrity, always busy. Hey, sorry, I'm playing at Wembley today. I'm gonna score a hat trick. You get me? Man, like Roms is in the building. How do you, Roms?
Big up, no, miss being on the channel. Big up G, big up Rap, big up the comments. Listen, smash the match from early. But I've actually missed being on the channel, man. You always make me laugh. So we're here.
Welcome back, my brother. And finally, last but not least, known for his emotional responses to anything that Liverpool Football Club do, which everyone loves about him. You get me? Emotional character. He's kind of like myself, but like the UK version. I'm just the global version of exactly this type of person. Very emotional. You get me? Very involved in everything. I saw his celebrations as well with at Old Trafford when he was doing the watch along. You could just see he's like, my club, you get me? Joining us on the channel is one of the icons, man, like Jamie Phillips. How you doing, Jamie, man? You're on mute.
That's the first. I'm muted, but I'm good. I am the British Husam. I'll take that.
By definition, it can't be a diss because I said it. By definition.
No, I'll
Yeah,
take
true.
it, man.
Yeah,
I'll
true.
take it. I'll take it. That's good for me. It's good for
Big
me.
up to you, my guy.
That might be my new Twitter handle. That might.
Hey Hassan, bro, what are you're never coming back to Twitter? No, you're just off now for good.
Who, me? Yeah, I'm probably not gonna come back.
Yeah, them football spaces, boy. It's not,
Those days are over, brother. Those days are over. Yeah, we ain't coming back. Anyway, listen, big up to all of you guys. Big up everyone locked in. As I said, make sure you guys are liking, make sure you guys are subscribing. All these guys' channels in the description. Jamie's channel is in the description, G's channel is in the description, Rom's and Rax's Twitter is in the description, so go follow them as well. Anyway, let's get the party started. And I want to start with Rom's and then we open the floor up. Rom's, are Liverpool fans getting too giddy after the first 3 games?
In my opinion, yes, because the sample size is clear. It's been 3 games. What I will say is the reason why I'm happy with this start isn't so such we've won 3 out of 3. It's the fact we look defensively solid. That is the main thing, because we've seen time and time again, let's say the last 2 to 3 years, we always look susceptible. I know there's a lot of factors, Asian midfielders, sometimes tactically playing too much of a high line, knowing we don't have the personnel to keep playing, persistent and playing that way. But I just love that we just look defensively solid, because in my opinion, the first 2 games for United, we battered them pillar to post, start to finish, in my opinion. But Ipswich and Brentford, it was 2 good halves as opposed to 2 good games, in my opinion. I think we started both games a bit slow, but didn't concede in them halves that we started slow, and then we just blitzed them out of the wall. That's the thing with us. Once we score 1, the floodgates open. And I said, I got messages at halftime in the Ipswich game, you don't look good, this manager's a fraud. I said, we'll go on and win this game. I'm calm. We'll go on and win this game. The positive was we can't get any worse than we was the first half. And I love first of all, we'll speak out the formation. I love that we're now playing with a 2 and an industrial 10. But I feel like we've gone for the more total football approach where we're defending cohesively. And you saw under Klopp, and this isn't undermining Klopp at all, but you saw sometimes that 6 would be exposed. He would have to do the work by himself, where we're kind of just letting Jota, Salah, Diaz, and Szoboszlai press, and Gravenberch and McAllister just anchoring the back 4. I love that, because let's say a team does beat our press, we've then got 2 men instead of 1 that are actually covering the back 4. I can see already, right? I'm not saying he's going to go on to do mad things this season, because my expectation is still challenge for the title. You can't tell Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson and Trent, yeah, we're just going to compete for top. But you can't say that to them. So my expectation still is to challenge. However, do I expect Arnslot to win the league in his first season? No, I'd be crazy. And I know you get some people that say, Mourinho did it, Conte did it. They had more of a CV. They had more of a resume than Slot coming in. But my expectation was to win a trophy, because that's one thing we've been used to in the last 4 or 5 years, albeit domestic, Premier Champions League, we've been used to winning trophies. So my expectation was to win a trophy, finish no lower than third, because I still think we're better than the rest, and then to have a deep Champions League run, because I back us in the Champions League. You five might think I'm crazy, but if we avoid Real Madrid, I make us favourites. Honestly, I'll always back us in Europe.
This is all about the injuries, though. That's the problem with us.
Yeah, and that's what we come on to, Sam. Because the window for me was a 3 out of 10. We still didn't do enough. We signed a player that doesn't actively come into the squad until next summer. And then we signed Chiesa, which for me is a good signing if you brought in your Zubimendi's, your a left back, maybe a left centre back. But one thing I will say, he's not.
It's a good signing that we don't need, essentially.
Yeah, that we don't need. That we don't need at all. So, Husam, I would say Liverpool fans are getting giddy, to answer your question, but it is also within reason. Like if you're getting giddy because you see us tactically better, I understand that completely, because I've never seen us this solid in a good 2-3 years. But to say win the league and that, yeah, it's been 3 games, and the biggest litmus test was United, and we did pass that test, but we're not even a quarter way through the season. So after 10 games, I might have a more positive opinion, should I say? But that's my verdict for the first 3 games.
Fair enough. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man.
Right. I look at this differently, maybe. So the discourse in the summer before the season started is that Arne Slot who, Liverpool going to struggle, Klopp performed miracles, and Liverpool are probably not going to get in the top 4. After 3 games, everyone's now saying Arne Slot looks good, Liverpool look decent again. They're definitely guaranteed to get top 4. So the discourse has definitely changed. There's no doubt about it. Now, do we get giddy after? Look, I'm always giddy, as Sam said. That's just me. I'm a passionate Liverpool fan. I want us to win everything that we can win, no matter what. I don't think football is actually that good in 2024, personally. So I don't think Liverpool are far off everything. I really don't. There's 2 teams in European football that just pee me off the most, and that's Real Madrid and Man City, because one's in your league and one's in Europe. That stops you winning everything, basically. Mm-hmm. Apart from that, who else am I scared of? Who else am I worried about? You know, this is the thing. I think Liverpool will have a good year. Slot's the only thing I'm going to say about Arne Slot is that we got to see what he's like when he goes for adversity.
Define good year, though. What's a good year, Jamie?
I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool win a trophy and top 3, and I think that's a good year of taking over a legendary manager in Jurgen Klopp. I know it's not probably a good enough year as a team like Liverpool are. It should be getting with titles, but considering everyone thought Liverpool would drop off like there's no tomorrow.
You want to know the only problem with the argument is the fact that this could be the last year of the Fantastic Four, if you would like, together.
That could be. Again, this is what I'm saying about the adversity.
Then you can kiss trophies goodbye for a good 3-year period.
That's what Slot's got. We got to see what Slot's like for adversity. At the moment, everything's going his way, so it looks good. Let's see what he looks like when he's going to see adversity. You know, he's going to come across it. We're going to lose games of football because everyone loses games of football. You know, it's how you come back from it and how you kick on. Yep. So let's see what happens. At this moment in time, look, we've got Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth in our next 2 games. Mm-hmm. You know, am I looking at 2 wins there? Yeah. Why shouldn't we? Should be. They're both at home. You know, and
I'll be honest with you, Jamie. It's even deeper than that for me. I think we beat Forest, we beat Milan, we beat Bournemouth, we beat West Ham, and we beat Wolves. To be honest with you, the top fixtures start after that. That's when the fucking
October. Our October is very difficult. But I was also looking at Arsenal and Man City's October. It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City have got very, very difficult Octobers at the same time. So I've always said it: get your points on the table early. Put your points on the table early, and then let's see what we go from there. So at this moment in time, it's a very good start. Fixture's been kind to us, But as I say, the discourse before that, when people saw the fixtures, they were still saying, "Oh, Liverpool going to struggle and fall off." I actually do believe that Ipswich game is a difficult match. You're away from home against a newly promoted team at 12:30 kickoff, who's going to be absolutely up for it.
Mm.
You have to play your way through them sort of games, don't you? And then your class shows at the end. And then the Bournemouth, and then the Brighton game, and then the way we dismantled Man United was just beautiful. So, long may it continue. We're happy at the moment, and look, we don't need therapy sessions right now. That's the good thing, ain't it?
You know what? I've got a question for the panel, and it's actually in the title as well, right? I'm not going to say I've been proved wrong just yet, because again, it's been 3 games. But my thing with Gravenberch in the 6 was, I've always, if it was up to me, I would like him partnering McAllister in the 8, because I think he's got so much ability that he can play further forward. However, we don't really have a competent Endo let's be honest, he was hit and miss, but he was very hit.
Endo?
Say that again?
Endo 2024. Endo?
No, listen, Sam. He was very hit in the big games. City at home, Arsenal at home, Carabao Cup final. But when he was missed. I was at the Crystal Palace game when he got, and me and G were there when he got at half time. So when he was
shit that game.
But the way I see it with Gravenberch, I was saying, look, the 6 role against the better teams that press us, your Villas, your Arsenals, your Cities, could he do it? But for me, United was the litmus test. And let's be honest, no matter how bad United are, it's historically been a quite difficult game. You have to deal with a lot mentally going in the game. And the fact he just took to that game like a duck to water. He looked flawless that game. And I thought, you know what? I could be wrong. Again, sample size of everything. I need to see him more in that 6. I don't want to start saying he's the answer, because you're getting some Liverpool fans already saying he's our answer. No.
Yes,
we were literally just going in.
That's the part that's too giddy, though.
Exactly. Sam, do you know what I think is ludicrous? Some fans are now saying we don't need a 6. We literally just tried to get one. So the club has told you we need a 6.
What it is, Roms, I think what it is, we need a DM. We all know we agree we need a DM, but I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think the DM role is slightly changing, slightly evolving. So you look at PSG, yeah, they regard it as their DM. They brought him in, realised he's crap and he can't pass, and they put Fatinia in there, didn't they? And a guy never got his place back. I do think you look at Rodri. Rodri's just not. He's almost a box-to-box midfielder now. He does everything. I think the DM role is slightly changing a little bit, and Liverpool don't want like that Ugarte DM. We're after like a deep lining playmaker that can defend, basically, like a Zubimendi. Do I think Gravenberch is the answer to it at the moment? No, he's doing a great job. There's no doubt about it. But I do think he can be moulded as a career number 6, playing the different way as a DM. More than, he's not going to be a Ugarte DM, but he could be that different kind of defensive midfielder that is evolving into a different breed of footballer. But we still need to go and get another one.
Can I honestly tell you what I think, Jamie, just on that point?
Yeah.
I think if we signed Zubimendi, that's fine. You know who I generally think would have went to the bench? I think Szoboszlai would have went to the bench. I don't even think it's Gravenberch. Yeah. Essentially, everything that we're seeing about Gravenberch that we like, don't you think if we unlock that from a more forward position, it's even better?
Yes, literally.
Think about it.
I don't think I actually think he's best in a deeper position.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he plays better in a deeper position. I think he's exceptional at receiving the ball. I actually think he's our best midfielder at receiving the ball, especially on the half turn. When he gets the ball, and he's a very good ball carrier. To do all them sort of things, you really need to play a little bit deeper.
It gives you a bit more space to work with.
And gives you that
You're
space.
not immediately, you haven't got 1,000 players around you. When it gets to that final third of the opposition box, space comes.
I think McAllister can play further forward.
That's what. No, but McAllister had the most stuff against Man United.
Yeah. Gravenberch's attributes allow him. Everything you just said about him in the 6 is why I think he should play in the 8, because he's good receiving the ball, because he's good on the half turn.
Yeah, but you can be an 8 and play deeper then higher up as well, can't you?
He was also against United. Against United, he was more advanced than McAllister as well. Like he was almost virtually an 8. It wasn't like he was sitting deep like McAllister and playing from that. Maybe starting off runs and things like that. But if you look at where he was picking up the ball and where he was trying to close space, like for example in the first goal,
The final third, wasn't it?
it's all from
But-
from an
But in the
aggressive
game,
kind of.
they've been doing that a lot, though. Like in the Brentford game, it's McAllister who was further forward and Gravenberch dropped. Do you know what I like about
The
what's
interchanging,
at the
innit?
moment? It's the fluency and the interchange
Yeah.
we've got in the midfield because we defend as a unit. So the defense moves as one, don't it? The midfield and the defense moves at one. I like the fact that Trent goes into a double pivot if Gravenberch or McAllister leave that position. So you've always got two players there. So it's harder to then get onto our defense. These little subtle changes, and they're tiny subtle changes.
But there's a problem with all of this, Jamie. Everything you just said literally goes, and I mean like full on goes to the shits. Literally,
if they get injured. Yeah.
Not, by the way, this is not even a matter of Gravenberch getting injured. Even if McAllister gets injured, we're absolutely fucked. One of those two injured, done. You see this whole play beautiful football, pass left, pass right. Oh my God, they're so amazing. This whole thing goes to the shits if one of those two gets injured. Never mind both of them, God forbid, Yani. But I'm saying if either of them gets injured, not a single midfielder in that squad can replicate what McAllister does or what Gravenberch does. And that for me is the biggest fear, because we cannot live in a world in which we think that there will be no injuries whatsoever and we're going to have a whole season with fucking 30 players fit all year long. That's just not going to happen. That's just not real world. That's just not real football. That's genuinely not how we exist in this sport. At the end of the day, people will get injured, unfortunately, and it's about how we recover. And this is why you cannot go over the top, even with Slot, even with everything, because we have yet to face adversity. Exactly. When we face adversity, I want to see how he reacts. Maybe when we're 1-0 down, I want to see how he reacts. What does he change? What does he do? Is it the same subs? Because this is stuff that, by the way, what if we're 1-0 down to Nottingham Forest? God forbid. I don't want us to be 1-0 down. I'm saying, what if? And then he also brings on Conor Bradley for Trent. Then what? You all will lose your mind.
Yeah.
Unless, I will say the one thing he can do if you lose a McAllister or Gravenberch, I honestly think because of the way we play is a little bit different. I think for the odd one or two games, you can put Trent in that double pivot and play Conor Bradley at right back.
Or even Gomez, if he's
you could. I literally think if you play that double pivot for one or two games, because of the way we play, you could put Trent into that Gravenberch role, play Conor Bradley. If it's a one game, if it's a multiple games, then you're a bit more in trouble because I wouldn't do it for multiple games. But especially like if Gravenberch can't play a game, or Szoboszlai, I actually look. This might be Sam Madge. I think Szoboszlai is why we're playing well at the moment. I think he's the key to our whole midfield.
Do you know what, James? I agree with you.
His off the ball work is mad.
And I agree with you, but from when you have to praise a player for nothing to do with the ball at his feet, for me, there's a problem. However, I do agree with you.
But the off-the-ball stuff is the most important thing in football, as much as the on-the-ball stuff. Because if it
depends on your system. I do think it depends on your system.
So Szoboszlai wins the most grand duels out of all our midfielders as well.
You know what's mad about this whole thing, this whole conversation? It's literally been 3 games, so it's like we have no idea.
I'm counting all pre-season as well. I'm counting all pre-season because our form's continued.
We can count. And listen, look, I think Slot's played like good football and stuff like that, but I think Sam said it there. I think you listen to the games that you even just listed. The reality is, like, even if you thought we was gonna have a poor season, you didn't look at those games and think that's where we're going to necessarily be poor. It was going to be more against the upper echelons of teams, like anyone from, like, say, a Newcastle, Villa upwards of those kind of teams. That's where you looked. You didn't look at even Ipswich, as difficult as game that was. You didn't look at that and think we would lose, or you didn't think that should be a game we'd lose. You didn't look at Brentford and think that should be a game we'd lose. United, maybe, as Rom said,
we went goals.
I don't know how kind of thing.
We went goals down all last season in them games.
And won every single game. So it's
but
like,
what I'm saying, still struggled.
No, but we struggled in this game. Did you get what I'm trying to say? We struggled in Ipswich
what
game?
And
we struggled.
No, we didn't struggle at Ipswich at all.
We definitely struggled against Ipswich.
I'll take
First half we did struggle.
No, we didn't struggle. What you got to remember is
when you think that game was a struggle.
They had
zero. Half we blitzed them.
Yeah,
to
be fair, I think we did struggle. I think we did struggle, but that was the toughest possible game.
Exactly.
Because Ipswich, they will never be stronger than that first game.
First game.
First half,
Yeah.
first home game of the season. All that
Biggest-
energy and
biggest
adrenaline
club
and
in
all
the-
that kind of stuff.
Biggest club in the country
Yeah.
coming to your ground.
So
exactly.
it works.
But everything
both
you
ways.
just said
I do
is
think,
the reason why we struggled.
I thought we struggled a little bit in the first.
Yeah.
We definitely struggled in the first half. We didn't really create very much, and they created opportunities.
Yeah.
But I always
Ipswich off
felt
the
that
ball were
eventually
10 times better than Liverpool off the ball. They were first at
But-
everything. They were first in the like they were just better
What-
in terms
what-
of as what we're praising Zabozalai for, which is the off the ball work. They did all of that. They were first in everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of course,
But
we
this is
struggled
why-
with
But
that.
and the flip side is that they were never going to be able to keep that tempo up. I think Slot said it, didn't he? He said it at halftime. They were very good in the first half, but they were never going to be able to keep up that tempo in that heat and those conditions for the full 90. And I always thought that, you know what, they will put us under pressure, and that's their job. You know, crowd behind you, first game of the season, first time Ipswich are back in the Premier League in 20 years, maybe something like that. It's quite a while if I remember correctly.
That's
So I kind of get it.
that's
And I
why.
knew
But
that's what-
the
that's
thing
what
is, it's not
eventually would come
even
through
it's
it.
not even about creating. I'm not saying you're doing this yet, but I'm saying it's not like we won the game 2-0, isn't it? So it's obviously in retrospect, it's not a problem. What I'm saying is that it's not even about creating an excuse as to why we struggled. We just struggled. Like, it's just, as you said, all the points you made, 100% I agree with. But that first half, there was no way you looked at that game and said, yeah, Liverpool look on it here. We definitely look like we're going to walk away with 2. You definitely, that would have been a myth. You know what I mean? Hence the reason why he even had to make that change in the first half, because he didn't make that change because we were playing well. He didn't make that change because he thought Konza for Konate. He didn't make that change sitting there thinking, you know what, we're doing so well, I'm going to take off this centre. Of course, he looked at the game and thought, you know what, we're not winning in our duels.
I think playing
as
bad and
much in
struggling
this
is
kind of
different.
position.
I think playing
But
bad
that's the
and
point.
struggling is
But this is the point.
Yeah,
is
but
that
listen,
maybe
I
we
was
struggled
arguing
with
we
the
struggled
half.
in the game. Do you get what I'm
But
saying?
Yeah, let's
You
not
know,
argue
it's-
semantics. That first half wasn't good against Ipswich. That's it.
It was a
Yeah.
bad performance more than
But
a struggle.
this is why, for me, the United game I was so impressed with, because I'm not dismissing the Ipswich and Brentford game, but I knew even with a bad start, I think I predicted 2-1 for Ipswich. I anticipated a bad start, but even with a bad start, we would navigate our way to a win anyway. I expected it from both games. But United, we've all seen, everyone in the chat, better Liverpool teams go there and pick up a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw. For me, I don't care how bad United are. I don't want to be cliche, but form normally goes out the window, especially at Old Trafford. Anfield, I never worry about.
That's fact. Last season,
Yeah,
it's proof of.
For me, it's more time guaranteed 3 points against United at Anfield, bar last season, and we was 20 plus, 30 plus shots anyway. But at Old Trafford, I'm always a bit apprehensive because we've been better than them. Yeah, I think maybe it was tough, but
That's what I'm trying to say.
What Amika said. Yeah, okay, struggle, tough. You know, either way, it's
Bro, they
played
need
well.
the
We didn't
exact
play.
same
We didn't play to our
thing, like,
capacity. Yeah, it's semantics. It's semantics, right?
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. I'm not trying to argue semantics. The bigger point is here is even in the first 3 games, and this is what G was alluding to without the word, whether you agree with the word struggle or not, that's beside the point. What G was alluding to was the following. He's basically saying even in the 3 first games, there were moments in which we did have like spells of looking like shit, to be honest with you. Like, it's not like
100%.
it was 90 minutes of fucking dominance and we destroyed. No. There were a couple of moments here and there where we did like, ooh. Ipswich, the problem with the Ipswich game is, to be honest with you, the reason why it was shitter than the other 2 is because it was for a whole half against Ipswich. In Man United and Brentford, it only came in spurts.
spells.
Yeah, it was in spurts. It was like, 3 minutes, we're playing like shit, 4 minutes, we're playing like shit. That's okay, that's fine. 3-4 minutes, that's fine. But against Ipswich, it was a whole lot. But I genuinely believe the reason why I say, listen, we're getting too giddy is the problems haven't really changed. Like, the issues haven't really changed at this football club. And listen, it's the lack of ambition, the lack of spine. Who the fuck brings in a new manager and makes a profit? How is this normal? How is that, like, in the history of football, you guys? Name one other institution that brought in a new manager and made fucking money. Made money. Like, they put money.
If anything, Sam, for a manager's first summer or window at a club, they should be in deficit. You should be giving them possible tools to succeed.
Fact. That's actually
crazy.
low-key the summer where they spend the most. Like,
Yeah,
it even goes to what like Roms was saying, like about, and this is obviously more to your question really about the whole Giddy thing. Like, it's 3 games in, right? if people remember last season, the first few games that Gravenberch played, he played actually pretty well in those games. We were all talking about, I think the conversation was what, baby Pogba and all of that kind of stuff. History's now repeated itself again. We're now in the same position, i.e. he's playing well when he first starts these games. I'm not saying that he's going to continue. I'm not saying he's going to play poorly, none of that kind of stuff. What I am saying is that, to the question more so, when we're saying about like it being too giddy, it's not about not being happy at what we're seeing. Bro, be happy because we're playing, you know, some decent football at times. But the reality is, as Rom said earlier on, where it's only 3 games, like man would have to see what he's like come December, because as I think someone put it in the chat, we're one poor Gravenberch performance or injury away from everybody going back to he's not that good again. Oh, I knew he wasn't going to be great. I knew, and that's what this fan base is like. We're so hyperbole either way. I'm like, bro, just let the guy do what they're doing. After 3 games, he's nothing other than just a good player. Let him do his thing for a sustained period of time. Then we can start saying he's a world-class this and Gravenberch is doing the most. I'm seeing people talking in the chat like, oh, he's been a world-class midfield. There's no such thing. Like, it's impossible to be that after 3 games. Yeah, it's probably Ryan, but you know what I mean? Like, we just need to, it's all about enjoying. It's all about enjoying. It's all about enjoying what we're seeing, and I think I like the fact that, and big up Ends because he mentioned this the other day. I like the fact that we kind of go a little bit under the radar. What Jamie said about how people thought before the season, myself included, where we would be at the beginning of the season to now what people think where we're going to actually be. It's like, guys, let's just continue doing what we're doing. If that happens, great, fantastic. We win the league, we win this, and everyone's trying to predict we're going to win this trophy and that. You can't predict a cup tournament. It's impossible. How can you predict that you're going to beat flipping to Shrewsbury Town, let alone beat Manchester City on a Wednesday? So we got to...
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I wouldn't really even say this is adversity, but I rate Slot from what I've seen. I do. I think people in the chat think we don't. I think we all agree we're happy at the start, but I wouldn't so much say adversity, but injuries are inevitable. We all know this. You will really going to see how good of a coach Slot is when different personnel have to come in the system. That will be the litmus test to see how good this system really is. Because when you don't have your starting 11, or we've seen in other systems, whatnot, if players get injured, if it's a well-oiled machine or it's a functioning structure, players come in and just fit in seamlessly. Now, if we have different personnel or personnel that are bench players or fringe players come into this system, and obviously it's going to look different a bit because you're going to have golf and class. You have a starting 11 for a reason. However, if you get, let's say your fringe players, your Elliots, your Nunez's, your Gakpos now that play in the system in your cup games, and we don't look, there's not a mad golfing class. When I say golfing class, I mean structurally, that's how you know, yeah, this system is really, really something. But I'm just waiting to see the fringe players and the personnel, if they come in and fit into this system seamlessly. That's when we'll really see how good this system is. But I'm over the moon at the moment. There's no complaining here. I'm over the moon at the moment, honestly.
I agree. I agree with you there, man. It makes perfect sense. You know, we do have to wait. Look, obviously every team's played 3 games, so we can look at it on that point of view, where everyone's played 3 games. So we see where we're sitting at the moment. But yeah, we've had a good start. We can't argue that how easy our fixtures have been, I suppose, compared to like the Arsenal have got 3 mad games coming up against Tottenham, Inter Milan, and Man City. That's just madness, you know. Liverpool's and Liverpool's comparison is Nottingham Forest, AC Milan, and Bournemouth. You know, it's and only the European games away from home. So we got, you know, the games we should win, and I keep saying, just get your points on the board early. Let's get our points on the board early, and let's see where we are later on down the line, because it's easier having your points on the board now than catching up and trying to get your points on the board in October, November. So,
you know what, Jamie? In the era of United and Chelsea competing, the quality for me wasn't as high. The stakes weren't as high. Us and City have showed you have to get minimum 90 points to win the league. So you remember that old saying, the season really only starts after 10 games. That's been gone the last 5-6 years, because now the precedent's been set so high by Liverpool and City.
Day one.
Yeah.
But do you, okay, question to that, do you think, I was thinking about this the other day, right? Is it that Liverpool and City were like raising the bar, or do you just think City raised the bar by themselves? So we almost any other team, whether it was us or any other team trying to compete, right, had to almost compete with a team that's almost like an anomaly in terms of they got 100 points in a season, they got 99 or whatever it was in a season, because the reality is no one was getting these points until City. City started getting all of these high points, and the reality is to catch them, you almost have to be on, like, every generation, there's someone who sets a precedent. So when someone sets that precedent, then you need, obviously other teams understand, and it's like, okay, we need to be as good as that. So back in the day, Man United era, the precedent was Manchester United, right? Forget how many points they got, whether it was 80 points or whatever. That was what you had to kind of get to. Like that was, in order for you to win, you had to be whatever they were kind of getting at that period of time. Are we almost downplaying Manchester United during that kind of period because City decided to start going to 99 points?
The reason why I'd say it's both of us, the reason why I'd say it's Liverpool and City, because one, you still have to be there, and two, the season City dropped off, we still excelled. Do you know what I mean? We won the league by January. So I think it was the both of us. I don't think the fact because City was there, we almost had to be there. I think
if City wasn't there, then do you think Liverpool obtained these points that we were getting?
Yeah.
I don't think Liverpool get those points.
With the personnel of the manager, I
don't think Liverpool get these points, because I don't think again, it's situational, right? It's like you don't need to obviously obtain that, because if that was the case, why weren't teams getting why wasn't the Manchester United great teams getting 99 points? They were never getting that.
Because I will say because
this is what I'm saying. Different eras.
Different era. But the thing of football back then was better than it is now.
I agree.
Right?
You know what?
I think the individuals were
individuals, not
individuals.
I know, but the thing is, right? I understand what you say. When people talk about this,
sorry to interrupt you, but this guy, you see this guy right here.
He's the biggest fraud. He's the biggest fraud.
McAllister was not only our best midfielder, he was the player of the season last year. You fraud. Do you know, like, you keep dissing McAllister is better than Gravenberch, and he's better than Zubimendi as well. Like, respect who Alexis McAllister is. We had more possession at home against Manchester City. Do you understand? Endo was his partner, and we had more possession because of how good he was. And at the end of the day, let me make something clear to you. If we sign Zubimendi, I'll make any bet with you right now that McAllister starts for the team. Ryan, if you're a man, name your bet right now. Any bet you want, McAllister will not go.
I think it'd be McAllister. I think it'd be Zubimendi. I think it'd be Zubimendi, McAllister, and Szoboszlai now. At the beginning, I think it would have been Szoboszlai hitting bench, but because of the way Szoboszlai started and how important he looks for us now,
you just rotate Gravenberch out.
I personally say,
Jamie, in terms of winning the title, actually, carry on, because that's also a very important topic. Go ahead, tell me. What do you think?
No, I was just saying on the G thing, the reason why I still think we would have been there, because if that was the case, the year we won the league, we would have rested on our laurels and we wouldn't have got 99 points. We would have just been all right with the 92 mark, because I think City got low 80s at that point. So that's why I think it was
we're coming off of a season where we had already gotten the 90 whatever points. So the bar has already
and the
been
Champions League
97 and the Champions League. And what year was it that City, was it the year before that when we won the Champions League, City got 100 points. Remember, City have already set this bar. So everyone in the league, everyone in the country knows that in order to beat this team, you basically have to be, as we said, near on perfect, right? Which is basically no games or none games.
I remember, I think, was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons before that, Chelsea got 95 points. That was at that point that was under Conte. They had a really terrible. They had a really terrible start, and then they went on a crazy run and got 95 points. So I understand. The thing is, I think our peak Liverpool team, we were one of the best teams this country has ever seen. We were right up there. People will talk, and people love nostalgia bias.
Would you agree our best team was the Champions League winning that campaign? Yeah. I think it was better than the actual title winning team. I think that was crazy.
It's different, right? Because that the season we won the title, we were so defensively solid, right? Remember, we wiped the floor with Atletico Madrid. We absolutely killed them, and then they sucker punched us with a 1-2. He who shall not be named was in goal. All that stuff.
Who shall not be
But
named?
we were so good, less expansive. But just as soon as we went a goal up, pretty much the game was over. We played the ball left to right, looking for the right option. Now we had Trent swinging crosses in, we had Robbo swinging crosses in. We were creating, and we were so defensively solid. Like in terms of pure entertainment, I agree. Maybe we weren't as expansive.
But I don't get what G's
were so
overarching point is. Are you saying if Man City didn't exist, we wouldn't have won those league titles?
No, I'm not saying we would have still won the league title because we were the better team.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the point. No. It doesn't matter. I don't care how many points we get. Like I just want to win, right? What I'm saying is that when you have a team who sets, like you mentioned, like everyone mentioned about the Manchester United and all of that stuff. The reality is, if Manchester United had 3 or 4 seasons where they were touching 95 plus points, then Arsenal at that time would have had to have reached those kind of heights in order to actually win. Whereas we knew under Klopp and with Pep Guardiola, the only way you're going to win, and even in that season where we did get the 99 points and won the league, is that was the mark. Like City finished on like 81 points in that season. Like in your head, you're thinking that might even have been a close title race in any other normal season.
If we're talking about winning the league this season, then I expect we need like 90-something points to even win it this
again.
Exactly.
That
Why?
ain't ever gonna change. You ain't gonna win the title on 80-something with Pep Guardiola in town. That's not gonna happen.
And that's the point.
I see your logic.
Because Pep Guardiola's here and because City have been doing this thing, we can't sit here and be like, you know what? 85, 83 to 5. Yeah, we can get those kind of numbers and we can just win the exactly. That'll probably be good enough for like 4th or something.
In the Pep Guardiola era for the people, because Roms mentioned the 18-19 season. People forget this. Other than Man City, by the way, we did not lose a single game in 6 months. 6 months of football. We drew like 2 games and lost
we lost one league game.
We lost one league game.
City that year.
That's what I'm saying. The rest of the time we only had 2 draws and we lost the league.
But Husam, we finished that season with 99 points, right? And so 97 points. We finished second. We were 1 game away. Remember, we won the Champions League. We were 1 game. If we beat City, we would have been invincible, Centurions, and the double. I mean,
I don't even want to speak about it.
People say close, but no cigar. And I there's something to be said for that. I agree, but that shows that the levels that we achieved in those 2 seasons, that level of consistency. We won 16 games in a row, drew 1 against Man United, then won 17 games in a row. That kind of form has never, ever been seen in a top league in Europe.
Rax, I'm going to throw you under the bus now. Can we win the league this season?
I think we're capable of it. It's going to be difficult. Go on.
The only way I think we could win the league this season is if we know our owners are like. So you think of get happy and then you just get depressed because you remember who our owners are. However, we have to get to January and we're either top, because we've got this knack of being top at January. I saw on graphic, I think in the last 8 seasons we've been top at January. I think half of them, 4 or 5 of them. But
look how many league titles January now at the end of that when you see it.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's crazy. But if we're top at Christmas or 2 or 3 points off, and we miraculously FSG pull their fingers out of their ass and we sign players, I would back us, depending on the players we've signed. We can't just sign anyone, any Jack and Harry, whatnot. We need to sign players that will actually elevate our
level. You were
level.
there when Tom Little wanted to check the core.
I think Liverpool
80 million.
I think Liverpool buy Zubimendi in January. I think it gets done in January.
You know what? They drew with Deportivo La Coruña last week. He was probably looking at, you know, when he went to his bedroom, he was probably looking at the roof, going like, "Man, fuck the mountains."
Checking out the mountains.
How long left does he have of this contract?
He has 3 years.
He hasn't extended, by the way.
But Real Sociedad can't afford to give him the contract that Liverpool will go and give him. Because they're Real Sociedad. So he hasn't signed a new deal yet. I think it's going to be something similar to the Virgil incident. You remember when we tried to buy Virgil from Southampton?
And we had to wait 6 months.
And we badly needed a defender, and we decided, right, we said sorry to Southampton. He went back to Southampton, and we bought no defender, and the fan base went mad. So, but we still need a centre back. Buy someone, and then they wait till January.
Do you know what, Jamie?
You know how we can win the league, Rom? You know how we can win the league? If City and Arsenal drop off. we're gonna be the team that's just there in it.
Just there, yeah.
I promise you. You know what it is?
Man.
We're genuinely what I believe. I don't think we're as good as Arsenal and City. I know Arsenal obviously drew with Brighton. I'm saying overall we aren't as good right now, but we aren't as bad as the ones like underneath us. So no one is gonna overtake us, but it's about us overtaking them. If they drop off and they have a shit season, like after this international break, you know, listen, injuries at the end of the day, health plays a role. As we've seen with Arsenal, Calafiori, Moreno, Odegaard, and Zinchenko are injured. You know, with City, if like Ake is currently injured, someone else gets injured, whatever it is, and they have like a fall off, they fucking, I don't know, lose 4 and 5 or like something mad happens, we'll be the team that, you know, that are there. But as currently constructed, we haven't planned to fail. We've just failed to plan. And here we are.
Do you know what, Sam? You don't on the panel understand, and some people in the chat will, but we always like to save money and look what we have at home. The only thing is, if Ryan Gravenberch carries on in this upward trajectory, which I feel he will, it will be to our detriment overall in signing players in January, because they'll look at it and say, I mean, he's flourishing in the 6 for a sustained period of time now. It would have been around 5-6 months by that point. You've got Endo, Morton that has covered, and they'll think that's adequate to win the league. So it's kind of like, I don't wish this on him at all, but it's kind of like the only way I think FSG could potentially pull their things out there is if Gravenberch was to have a different form. By the way, I don't want him to, before the chat kill me, I don't want him to have a different form, but if he was to, and then the board kind of see, no, we actually
need an injury.
Or injury. Because we do need a DM. Any Liverpool fan that says we don't, we literally just try to sign one. I have to keep going back to that point. The club told you.
Tried to sign one for 3 years in a row.
In a row, exactly. It's staring you in the face. We're trying to sign one. Caicedo bid last summer, and now Zubimendi this summer. By
the way, Caicedo in the club system would have literally been loan DM. You guys can fight with yourselves. He would have been.
I think we would have won the league. I genuinely think we would have won the league.
Because let's not act like Klopp didn't pay 150 million for someone who he would have been loan DM.
Do you know what I don't like? Do you know what I don't like? This notion that we don't spend money. If we feel you're going to elevate our first team, we will
spend it. Yeah.
Exactly. Van Dijk, Alisson, Nunes, Szoboszlai, these big fees, they're not cheap. So I can't say the 150 million bid. This narrative that rivals give us, we don't spend money. No. If you're going to elevate us, the first team, not a bench player, the first team, we will put down the money. And that's what I'm saying about this January. If we're in and around the top and Gravenberch's performance has dropped or he's got an injury, God forbid, that's when I think we actually put in that bid what Jamie's saying. But Jamie, if Gravenberch is flourishing and he's still playing well, forget about that Zubimendi bid, bro.
You know what's funny, Rom?
This is why I'm a bit.
Anytime, sorry, I have to say this. Anytime I ask a Liverpool fan, can we win the league? The answer is yes, but then they proceed to give me 20 ifs.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That means you don't believe that we're going to win.
Yes or no.
But the thing is, but I think that's fair, because anyone who comes with a strong opinion that you can win the league when Man City's a competition is a little bit delusional, right? Because these guys have won it for the last 4 years.
So you can't win the league.
Huh?
No, then the answer should be no.
Because things look. Okay, I don't.
They've won the last 4 out of the 5 Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
So
Rax, what percentage chance do you give us?
That's a better
15,
question.
20, 15%. 15%.
Same as me.
15, rad.
Okay.
What, 1-5?
No, 15,
Yeah.
1-5.
That's
My
lower
one
than
is
that.
10. My one is 10.
Yeah, that's lower than I expected. I thought you. Okay, fair.
I give us about 25.
Maybe I've been talking loud, but actually,
That's what I'm saying. Like the way you've been talking, I was expecting like 45.
Yeah, my one is
like,
10%. I can't lie.
Look, just because
Fair.
I give City a lot of credit. They've got crazy firepower with Haaland, you know. But, you know, last season, Haaland got injured for a period. KDB is a year older. Maybe, you know, if things don't go well there, maybe they get an odd injury here or there or something happens.
Or they get relegated and liquidated, which would be better.
I don't think that
would be quite funny.
I don't think City had a very good transfer window, because if they do lose Haaland, they literally don't have another striker. Yeah,
that is true.
If they lose De Bruyne, they haven't really got. You know, if they lose De Bruyne and Haaland
I think they'll be okay without De Bruyne. They won't be okay without Haaland, though.
Yeah, but if you look, De Bruyne's a complete cheat code. Him and Salah, I think, are the two difference makers in this Premier League, right?
Yes.
Salah and De Bruyne and Haaland, yeah. Because if you look at the West Ham, like if Haaland really weren't playing for that Man City against West Ham, that's a really difficult game. and it could have ended
No,
up.
but that's what I'm saying. I agree with you on Haaland.
And
but I don't
Haaland,
agree with
yeah.
you on Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I
If
think
Haaland
Haaland's
is injured because they have no more Alvarez, so that's
Yeah.
it. There's
It's a different.
Have you forgotten that like Man City have played James Milner as a false 9? Like, bro, they'll be fine. Don't worry about what Manchester City are going to do. With their team.
I literally don't think this Man City team are as good as they have been in previous years. They've just got a superstar up front that gets
unless
them out of a lot of
Haaland is
trouble.
out. Unless
Yeah.
Haaland is out,
They got a
you
superstar up
can
front.
kiss that thing goodbye. I'll be
Gets him
honest
out
with
of
you.
everything.
We always do this, you know. We
Do you
always
know
do
what?
this.
On a more
We
positive,
always do
like,
this about
on a
Manchester
more
No, but
positive,
G,
like,
the only way when you say, okay, if I ask you, can we win the league? My honest, okay, this is my percentages. I give
Go
City
on.
50%,
Yeah.
Arsenal 40, us 10. The
Okay.
reason why Arsenal is a lot higher than us is their defense. They're basically trying to shithouse their way to a league title. They're doing the Simeone thing. They're parking the bus. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I understand it. With us, you know, we're talking about if Haaland gets injured. For us, Mo gets injured, Trent gets injured, Ali gets injured, Virgil gets injured, or one of Gravenberch and McAllister gets injured, and Jota and Konate get injured. Though we're like, for us, it's 100 caveats. I'll be so honest with you. Like, it's like these are because here's the thing: Konate, people don't understand something. This has nothing to do with football. Purely from a physical perspective alone, Konate is a difference maker. I'm sorry, Real Madrid and Manchester City alone, those two fixtures, there is a 180 degrees opposite of playing Kwanzaa and Konate. Fuck playing out from the back. Fuck pass left, pass right. I need Konate to catch Vinicius, and I need Konate to catch Haaland, which he can do. That's the thing that I need. Do you get me?
But having said that, I think City are favourites. I still think we're capable of challenging. I still think we're capable of getting close. But City are.
So me and you are arguing over
exceptional
5%.
Yeah.
You said 15. I
Yeah,
said 10.
but we saw, right. City won the league last season by 2 points. Arsenal were neck and neck with them. We're ahead of them. They lost to Villa, and City kept on winning, and that was the league gone. They lost it by 2 points. So these small little percentages make the difference when it comes to City. We lost the league twice by 1 point to City, right? And that's me having said that. I think that period we were one of the best teams in Premier League history. We were right up there, top 5 in my opinion. People, you'll get United fans and Chelsea fans say you've only won one Premier League, but that's all by the by. We were one of that in that period. We were one of the best, and a lot of those players are still here. I still think we're capable of reaching a really strong level and competing with the best teams in the world. Whether that will happen for a whole league season and whether that's enough to surpass City, it hasn't been in recent years. It's not impossible. Let's see what happens.
No, and that's why I said at the beginning, it's only 3 games. So let's get there. Do you know what I mean? Because I agree with you. I think you can put yourself in a position, and we don't know. January comes, Liverpool, Jamie said it, get your points on the board. 100% agree. Let's get all of the early points. Wolves, Nottingham, get them. All of these points, because we just saw what happened with Arsenal. They drew to Brighton. Now they're 2 points behind. So now, I'm not saying that that's going to play a massive factor, but you do that again and again, for example, 2 games in a row.
This is the thing. They got Spurs coming up, right? And after Spurs, they got Man City. Say, for example, they lose to Spurs, lose to Man City. At that point, they've got Odegaard is out injured, and you know,
I agree.
So that kind of thing, all of a sudden,
swing on them.
The fan base. We know Arsenal's fan. Look, to be fair, a lot of fan bases are very emotional, right? But Arsenal's fan base. They turn like crazy, right? If things don't start going bad, so you never know. Like that could be them very, very close to being out of it within a relatively short period of time. So
I agree.
And I think our season, in terms of how it started, couldn't have gone any better. But bigger challenges await. And Gravenberch has really surprised me. And I can do nothing but applaud him. He's done everything that he needs to do so far. And if that's all, that's me as a fan, and me as a human being, I can't expect any more. If you've done everything you can do, what more can I say? Biggest challenges will await, and I hope he rises to them, and I hope he proves the doubts that I've had about him. I hope he proves me wrong and makes a fool of those opinions.
I agree.
The thing is, like, for me with this question, which is like us winning the league, it's genuinely for me all about fitness. Like, genuinely, that's how I look about it. It's just about fitness, health. If we can keep our players healthy, we keep our players fit, we can do all of that, then that it could be a possibility. But right now, the thing is, like, listen, Jota has slapped me in the face. Konate has slapped me in the face way too many times for me to believe that this time it's different. People mention, training and all this, and under Jurgen Klopp they ran more. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He was still always injured. Same with Jota, same with all these. So it's just like, I need players to stay fit. That's just the reality of the situation. And at the end of the day as well, when we talk about winning the league, forget comparing ourselves to Arsenal. We have to compare ourselves to Manchester City. You know why Man City are okay if Ake is injured? Ruben Diaz, Gvardiol, John Stones, Akanji. That's 4 right there. 4. I've just mentioned 4. I haven't even went to any youngster.
It's more simpler than that, bro. Why are we comparing ourselves to a team that's not won the league? In recent times, it is literally only City, because like you said, they've got strength and depth. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I think earlier, like when you asked the league thing, I know you've not asked this question yet. Where I think we've got a real good chance of winning, it's Jenny the Champions League, because this myth you have to be good to win the Champions League. You don't. Both years Chelsea won it, they weren't even top 5 in Europe, in my opinion.
They definitely weren't.
When we won it in 05, we probably weren't even top 10 in Europe. Like,
we were in top 15. Olympiacos were better than us even.
Exactly. So I generally back. A lot of Liverpool fans will call me mad, but it's like, why am I mad from a competition that we thrive in? And even if we don't win it, we always get to the latter stage more or less. So I genuinely believe Real Madrid are giving me PTSD. If we meet Real Madrid, then I mean in the knockout stage. I don't mean these league format.
We need Man City to face Real Madrid and Man City to eliminate Real Madrid.
I'll take Man City in the final any day.
100%. I don't give a fuck. Give me Man City in the Champions League all day, every day. I'm good with that. Just don't.
Do you know? I'll put my neck on the line here. I think we win the Champions League this season. Call me crazy, but I think we win.
Rum's went from saying we're gonna win a trophy to now say the biggest trophy in the world.
The biggest trophy. That's
I'll take it.
Let's be honest. Champions League is the more prestigious trophy. Premier League's harder to win. It's about consistency. You can't cheat in the Premier League. You can cheat in the Champions League.
You know what I'd say? I think it's a different type. It's a different type of difficulty, because Premier League you have to be at top level consistently.
Exactly.
In the Champions League, you can go through each round by just being a bit better in one of those games, and that may be enough. So I think potentially the peaks of your performance in the Champions League have to be higher, but your consistency in the Premier League has to be higher. So it's just different types of difficulty, in my opinion.
Can I ask a question?
Since Rams, go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead.
I was about to say, with Arne Slot, could Arne Slot actually surprise people this year? Because he's quite an unknown, right? And he's quite an unknown coming into the league. And when I look at the way Ipswich, Brentford, and Man United played, they set up against Liverpool like a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool team. And Arne Slot doesn't really play completely like a Jurgen Klopp Liverpool side. And you know when new players come to the Premier League and like it takes them a season to get recognise what that player does, and then the following season they start tactics and system to stop that opposition player doing anything. They haven't really got a lot to go on Slot for what he's going to do in the season. So I just wonder, like a lot of teams are going to look at Liverpool and think they played like this for the last 6 or 7 years. They probably go, even with Slot, they might continue playing like that because it's their way, it's built into them. But because Slot's changing little things here and there, it's taking off other teams a little bit by surprise, maybe. So maybe Slot could be a little bit of a shock factor like that, if that makes sense.
New manager bounce.
If that makes sense. Like,
but the players have it all the time. Though, what happens when people kind of like figure out what we're trying to do? Then what?
That's where he earns his money.
That's where he's got to earn his money. Yeah, that's where he earns his money as a coach. What we're paying him, exactly. Then we see what he's about.
I don't think anyone can be anything but impressed with the way that Slot has come in. He's got the fan base on side. I think most fan bases were open to him anyway. And he's impressed us with the way he's played, the alterations he's made to our style of play, the way that he's spoken. I think if I was to, in the time so far, I don't think anybody could have come in and done any better, and he deserves tremendous credit for that. But again, I say bigger challenges away, but I think he's the kind of guy who could rise to those challenges.
I think we could put the Ten Hag and Slot thing.
Jamie, you need to explain.
I was going to say, Husam, quickly.
Jamie, Jamie need to explain his question a little bit. When you say surprise people, what do you mean? Just so we can answer it.
Just be good, because everyone thought Liverpool were going to be shit this season.
But then it's what's your definition?
Like everyone did.
For me, I had third Champions League and one of the domestic cups. Generally, I think.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
think.
but remember,
But
Rom,
until-
you're talking from a future perspective.
yeah,
No.
I'm
I
saying,
was speaking from this season. I was
This
speaking from
season.
No. But I mean, you're saying like, remember, we've been like to what Jamie's asking and what he's saying and what Husam just asked there. The reality is, and I don't know if Sam's going this way, but it's been 3 games, 2 of which we should have won under any manager. It didn't even matter who the manager was. Like, you should be winning those 2 games. So what would have been
Even if
like,
Rax was manager, we'd probably beat those.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So in my head, I'm like, what did you? The only thing I can say is just the football. That's the only thing I can say is just maybe the style of play. But other than that, did anybody like? We could have had any manager come in, and if you told me that Liverpool going to lose their first 2 games, come on, man. Like, even I'm not that pessimistic to think that, oh yeah, we're going to lose to Ipswich and Brentford. Yes, I thought we'd struggle, whatever, but you'd still think that we're going to win. So what you're saying, Roms, 100%, I agree in terms of when we're looking at what he can do, but we're not even there yet. Let's get there first, and then we can then like really.
But you know what I feel like this question even arises from? It's the Xabi Alonso thing. And I'll tell you why Xabi Alonso is a special manager, regardless of how I hope Slot does 100 times better than Alonso. But I'm just saying as a concept. With Xabi Alonso, the guy is literally inventing tactics. The guy is making new tactics. Like, as when you watch him, he's making new stuff. Like Mourinho said, listen, he was managed under Benitez, under himself, under Ancelotti, under Pep. So he's kind of combining a whole lot of stuff together. And it seems to have worked. And even like the second season running, I have a Bayern, shout out to Zier if he's watching this on the replay, Bayern Munich fan who says he thinks Leverkusen are going to win the league. Now, when you say Slot are going to surprise people, I don't necessarily think he'll surprise us. I think he'll surprise rivals. Meaning,
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, all of us here at work with rivals that go like, oh, Liverpool are going to be finished after the Club, blah, blah, blah. Those are the ones he'll surprise. But from our perspective, we know, listen, we ain't as bad as Spurs, Aston Villa, Man United, Chelsea to get drawn into that race. But the problem for us is, unfortunately, we aren't as good as the 2 above us to get drawn into that race as well. If you tell me right now, who do I think is going to be most likely the team that drops off the first from the title race, I'd say
Arsenal.
And but for me, it's because we don't have squad depth. Now, if Arsenal keep getting injuries, you might be right. They might drop off before us. No, but
Arsenal's squad depth ain't that good either.
But we don't have good depth either. Gravenberch.
That's what I'm saying.
True.
So if I ask you a genuine
depth
question, if Gravenberch gets injured, then what?
But Jamie, we're actually the opposite. Where at Arsenal lack depth in their forward areas where we're stacked, where we lack depth in our defence is where they're stacked.
Mate, Arsenal have only got 5 midfielders. They've only got 5 midfielders.
I think both teams just lack quality in the depth. I think they've got enough depth to play the players.
Yeah.
Like, if Arsenal needed to play players, they've got players to play. But in terms of quality, it's only Manchester City.
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of profile, this whole squad, Gravenberch.
No, that's what I said. We don't have the quality in the depth anyway. Yeah.
No, but hear me out. I'm saying for Arsenal, it's a problem if Odegaard, Saka get injured, just like it's a problem for us if Virgil or Mo get injured.
I agree with that. I agree.
100%. But I'm saying right now, in terms of profile, you would say in this current Liverpool side, Gravenberch and McAllister are probably 5th and 6th best players. You get me? Like, that's who they are. If Partey gets injured, they've got Merino. If like that, like they at least have someone over there. You know, they've got Jorginho, not as good, but it lets them play the style that they want to play. I'm saying strictly style. The problem with us is we don't have anyone similar to Gravenberch or McAllister in the whole team. And please don't tell me Curtis Jones before I end the stream. So there is no one. There is no one in this team who can play.
We're one midfielder short. I agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why Zubimendi was needed, because this run that we talk about, you know what you could do? Zubimendi, McAllister against Forest, and then McAllister, Gravenberch against Milan, and then Zubimendi, Gravenberch the game after.
And that way, and Husam, you know why I'm spot on? That way, you rotate more, injuries reduce. That's why City hardly get injuries as well, because Pep's always rotating players. He's very smart of it. I agree with you, Sam. I do agree with you, Sam. And I feel like where Gravenberch, and if we was to get Zubimendi, where Gravenberch, McAllister, and Zubimendi are also good offensively as well, you can kind of just mix and match. It's like cups. You could just swap them all around because they're all capable of playing the 10. Obviously, Gravenberch and McAllister more than Zubimendi. I think maybe not him in the 10 as such. But they all three can kind of do 2 out of the 3 roles within the midfield department. So I understand what you're saying, Sam. It would be very fluent because now it's not even just profiles. It's also the goal. It's also the golfing class as well. Because you look at our bench. Forget profiles. Are these players good enough to step in straight away. I would make a case for. I wasn't Elliot's biggest fan, but he's kind of proved me wrong the last year or two. I have to give credit where credit's due. Curtis Jones, I don't want Sam to end the stream. Morton and Noni, for me, not ready just yet. And then you're kind of looking around. There's not much. I actually agree with you. There's not much on our bench in that department.
I think there are holes in all three of the top teams. Right, there's certain critical players that if they go down, they're going to struggle. Like if Arsenal were to lose, I think even more so than Saliba, if they were to lose Gabriel, because Gabriel I think is much better in the air than Saliba, I think they would have a real problem in their central defence. Because aerial prowess is such a key thing these days, from set pieces and just in general play. If you're not an aerially dominant centre back, unfortunately, I don't think you can be like one of the really top level centre backs. I don't think Saliba is aerially dominant. For example, if City lose Haaland, there's going to be trouble. If we lose Virgil, if we lose Mo, if we lose Ali, every team has got potential holes. And if I'll shout out to Moby from Twitter. He said a phrase once that hope isn't a strategy, and I agree with that. I think we should have done more. We needed to do more in the transfer window, but we haven't. And so, unfortunately, at least until January, that's the reality. We just got to live with it. And every time I ask, on the flip side, our
any
rivals.
Liverpool fan, you ask him, can we win the league? It's just followed by 100 ifs. That's the fucking problem. Anyway, let me do these super chats before we carry on with the stream. Big up Ryan. Gravenberch and Zubimendi is much more balanced and effective than Maka and Zubimendi. It's so obvious. You lot hype up this Maka guy so much. Yes, we hype up our best or second best player from last season, the guy that had to play next to 15 million different midfielders in the club system that's very taxing and still rose to the occasion. And for the 500th time, I genuinely do not believe Gravenberch would be the guy that would ended up dropped. I think Szoboszlai would be the guy to end up dropped because all three could interchange. All three could play the DM, the 8, go forward, do all of this together. And
none of them can do what Szoboszlai
Low-key slot is very smart for wanting Zubimendi. You know why? If you have a starting midfield 3 of Zubimendi, Gravenberch, McAllister, it becomes positionless, total, all-out football.
Facts. You couldn't get the ball.
All three of your midfielders can keep the ball. All three of your midfielders can carry it. All three of your midfielders can pass it.
By the way,
you're acting like this is prime Barcelona or something like.
By the way, that's why we've conceded less goals.
Xavi and Iniesta don't exist anymore, my brother. So
but this is why I think what Jamie said before. You're going to need to have at least one midfielder in that entire midfield to at least do some form of off the ball work, which is
dirty stuff.
G and Jamie, the rebuttal to that is horses for courses, because I think you only then play Szoboszlai then in your bigger games against the lesser teams where we're going to dominate the ball.
Oh, then
We
don't
really need him as much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with that.
There's nothing that Maka is better than Gravenberch at. Both Gravenberch and Zubimendi are better. Maka had 3 good months last season. That's it. McAllister is better at tackling than Gravenberch. McAllister is better defensively. McAllister is better positionally. McAllister has more experience. McAllister is also a World Cup winner, meaning he laced up his boots next to Leo Messi in a World Cup final and took on France, who have Chouameni, Camavinga, that crazy-ass midfield. So
didn't he even get an assist in that final as well? To Di Maria, that's what I mean. You know Ryan, big up Ryan, but this is the same guy that said we need to sell Virgil van Dijk 3 years ago. This is the same guy that said Thiago's a bad footballer. I got the receipt. Big up Ryan, but he's so reactionary.
There's one even worse than all of this. He said Lukaku is a better right winger than Mo Salah.
That's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, he's too reactionary, man. He's too reactionary.
Ryan will be the first guy on YouTube when everything goes to the shits to go 180 degrees opposite of what he's saying right now. Fair. Also, for your information, Virgil van Dijk didn't win player of the season last year. Mo Salah won it. Both the players won and the fans won. Regardless whether you think he deserves it or not, he definitely didn't win it. But yeah, that's the thing. Signs are good, but again, not being negative, but could be just a honeymoon period. Yeah, this is true, to be fair. It could be a new manager boss, and could be like, everyone just getting Giddy. You get me? Because it's a new manager and shit. And as I don't know which one of you guys mentioned it earlier on, but they're still planning for a Klopp style, and then it's like completely different, you know, when they face it. So there could be an element of that, to be honest with you. Szoboszlai false nine with Zubimendi, McAllister, and Gravenberch midfield. Szoboszlai false
God
nine.
forbid. God forbid.
Szoboszlai
If it's
false nine.
available, he plays there. Let's not complicate things now. No.
This is what happens when you get too overexcited. Like,
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, who do you think we are? Like, what is
I
this,
think
man?
I think you've got more chance of Chiesa playing false nine than you have.
Exactly.
Bro, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's
Big
crazy.
up Anime for that, but that hurt my head reading that. I've got
Szoboszlai is perfect where he is right now. That's just
Yeah,
leave it
Everyone
there.
in the
the
chat
guy,
is
like-
trying for you to never watch anime. That's the Can I just remind you all, Gravenberch is 22? Yeah, you can remind us all. Listen, he's a fantastic player, doing
Why does
fantastically well.
Why does everyone think we hate Gravenberch? We love the
Yeah,
guy.
no one said that. But
We love the
Slot
guy.
himself that you're all praising wanted Zubimendi. So make of that what you wish. Anyway, big up to all of you guys. Make sure you guys are slapping the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing. We've got 500 people in here. We're even on 200 likes yet. Every single one of you guys right now, please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe. I want to see all of you guys involved in the chat. Big up to Ryan, Anime Fanatic. Big up to Vibes FC and Redline Taranga for the super chats. Big up every single super chatter, everyone who supports the channel. Please like the video, guys, and subscribe. Let's get to 200 likes ASAP. Questions, guys. And now, since we're all Liverpool fans and there are no rivals here, we can have this conversation without rivals saying dumb shit. You get me? Liverpool Football Club. Right winger. GA. Effectiveness. 8 years in a row. Is he our greatest Premier League player?
Yes,
Yep.
we just got to admit it.
Yeah. Yes.
We just got.
Who
If
thought
we,
otherwise? I don't understand that. Who's better than him?
he's our best Premier League player, man.
Okay, I differentiate between best and greatest, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that's the best answer.
okay, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
you guys are
Being a
such
politician,
cop
Semantic,
out,
yeah,
man.
that's
You
very
guys
that's
are
what
such
semantic.
cop out, honestly. Here we go, this cop out ass answer. Oh my god. Hey, my name's Rax. By the way, Mo Salah has a league title and Gerrard doesn't, so he's greater. Let's not do this, please. Don't do this. Don't give me no cop out answer. I need real answer.
I will give you my when the time comes. I'll give you my explanation. But please, you guys go ahead.
The thing is, they're just. It's
Salah.
tough.
Like, why are we even debating?
It can only be two candidates to be fair. But if you're speaking about greatest, I mean, I know you, and Sam, I know you said it in that way. Oh, Salah hasn't, Gerrard hasn't, but that's ultimately what it comes down to because they're so close in everything else. They both did it in the big games. Obviously, one will have more GA, but that's position relative.
Yeah.
Like it's so put it like this. It's got to a point. And I'm not sitting on the
Yeah,
I
he
did.
doesn't.
I did.
I
did not. Big up to-
speak on it, man. Speak on
Big
it.
up
Speak on it.
Toyota Eclipse. I did because I genuinely thought our club's not ambitious. We're not going to go for the league anyway. Let's just reinvest earlier. So I did. I hold my hands up. I got egg on my face. But for me, there's no right or wrong answer. But for me, Salah slightly edges it. I'm not going to sit on the fence with this one. Salah does because it literally comes down to that deciding factor because they're just neck.
Are we only talking about Premier League only?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Because if it comes to outside
Salah.
of the Premier League,
Yeah, then it's Stevie. Yeah,
then it's
No,
yeah.
but I think you should talk about their era, so their performance in the Champions League and Premier. Because I'm not saying okay, so Saturday and Sunday is going to one guy, and Wednesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday is going to another guy. I can't. How do I do that in my head? It doesn't make sense. I'm saying Stevie in his period he played for Liverpool versus Salah in his period for his play, or if you choose somebody else. They're in that comparison. I can't say, oh, this guy, I'm going to give him extra points for winning the Carabao Cup, and this guy is going to lose some because he didn't do well and didn't score in the knockout round or whatever.
Can you not sit on the fence, Lax? That would be nice.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. If someone says Salah, I'm not going to argue it. If someone said Stevie, I'm not going to argue it. I don't think there's a.
Salah, and I'm not even going to blink an eye.
No, for me, it's Salah as well.
Gee, that's disrespectful. I'm not even blinking.
I'm not even.
You didn't even try
We don't. No, because we don't need to. Like Rack said it there. If you're going to talk about we have to talk about their errors. I hear all of that. Steven Gerrard played in a shit team. Salah is playing in a better team, and he's still one of the best players in this team and in this league. And he's shown that throughout this whole time in the world, when even during this period of time, we're even looking at the guy like, Jesus Christ, like, is this the depending on which side of the fence you're on, is this the best like winger we've seen? Not right winger. Is this the best winger we have seen? He's in that kind of conversation. Same as Steven Gerrard, by the way, in the midfielder conversation. Two different eras, two different things. You can chop it up whichever way, but I'll be honest. I rate more when you're in a dope team and you are one of the best, because I'm always like, you got to understand, when you're in a dope team already, it's like it's just kind of easy for you to just be a part of the furniture.
It's harder to stand out.
Yeah, it's harder to stand out in a dope team.
I'm
sorry, and no disrespect to Steven Gerrard, because it's not his fault, and I'm not diminishing anything that he ever did, because he did what he did, right? But I'm sorry, you played a Champions League final with fucking Jimmy Traore. Like, let's be honest, guys. Like, this guy wasn't playing with like.
And the counter argument is that makes it even more impressive because
no. But because then what happened?
You played the Champions League final with Jimmy Traore. What?
No. But then, you know what I always found always about the funniest about the Gerrard thing? Anytime we then got like, say, quote unquote foreign superstar, so Torres and Suarez, he was never the best player in the team. Guess who was the best player in the team when Torres was there? It was Torres. When Suarez was there, it was Suarez.
No,
it wasn't. It was definitely.
Stevie made Torres. Torres has even said that.
No way. I'm not having that at all.
No,
I'll say they complimented each other. Yeah, I can say that much. But I'm not having
when
that.
Torres was about, it was still Gerrard, in my opinion. The Suarez one, it was later on in Gerrard's career, so I think Suarez was then the best player. But I think when Steve was playing with Torres didn't even come out and said it. Like, the best midfielder I've played him. He literally made Jamie's spot on. I still think,
of course, he's the best midfielder. Who else is going to be better than Steven Gerrard?
No, I think Torres. Don't correct me if I'm wrong in the chat.
Torres was literally one of the best strikers in the world at that point, and we had.
He was the best. He was the best. He was the best.
He was the best. And look at all
those 2.5, maybe even 3 seasons. Torres was the best striker.
And by the way, I'm not diminishing Gerrard. By the way, I'm not saying that Gerrard was shit or that he was rubbish. No.
I get, because we're talking elite level. So even if you say we're not saying Gerrard's here and Salah is here, we're saying they're like that, right? That's why there's a discussion.
And Torres was lit like, oh my day. If you have to go back to that period of time, I'm sorry, I can't fully remember, but I don't think that Gerrard was labeled like a top 5 midfielder at that period of time, because that's when the Javi.
Zidane said it was the best player. Zidane said Gerrard was the best player in the world.
I'll be honest with you.
Do you know what I have to disagree?
2009? Nah.
I have to step in here.
Not in 2009.
Listen, I've been working with you for 3 years. This is by far your worst ever opinion. By far. Terrible. Gerrard was not only Gerrard from 2005 to 2009 made the world XI 3 times. World XI. Never mind, best midfielder.
What does that?
You know that 2009 season. You know that 08-09. You know that 08-09 season.
What does that mean?
Sam, can I add on to that? Can I?
Because that's like me saying was okay. So do you think that Salah shouldn't have been
top 3? That means that he was a top 3 midfielder in world football at that moment in time. In 2005, who was the best midfielder in the world? Stevie.
And what happened? So when did Torres come?
2006, Stevie. 2007, Stevie. 2008.
When did Torres come?
2008.
Summer
of 07, because we lost the Champions League final against AC Milan in 07, and he came that summer.
He has been one of the top 5. You know, the biggest indicator that Gerrard was one of the best. I think every big European giant tried to sign him within that period of 2004.
We're having 2 different conversations, Roms. I never said that people.
He was better than Torres.
He wasn't better than. So Torres was not one of the best strikers in the world.
No, he was. He just wasn't. He wasn't the best player at our club. It was still Gerrard. Torres can still be the best. Torres can still be the best striker, and Gerrard be the best in the team. You know what? I would still take Torres. You know, I would still have taken Torres at that period of time. One, I can't remember. Did we even win anything? No, we didn't win anything during that period of time. So that's what upsets me.
The same. That upsets me too. It would have been the same result, right? But we definitely wouldn't have looked anywhere near as good if we had no Torres in that team. Nowhere near. We could have kept Gerrard in that team, and we wouldn't have been nowhere near as good. You could have taken Gerrard. You still had Mascherano, you still had Javi Alonso, you still had Momo Sissoko. We had no strikers, guys. We had no one to play up front.
Yeah, but if you take Gerrard out, then that team goes to the shits.
Yeah.
I still think we finished in the same positions that we finished in.
08,
Giddy.
09.
You're
08,
disrespecting
no, we don't.
Howe and
08,
Boren.
09 when Man United won the league.
Bro, I'm not doing.
Let me know when you want me to come in with
08,
my
09
opinion.
when Man United won the league, there were 6 players nominated for PFA Player of the Year. 5 of them played for Man United, and the 6th one was Steven Gerrard. Even that season, those seasons.
Why do you keep throwing up these things? Like, as in, what difference is that going to make to me saying that Torres?
Meaning that Steven Gerrard performed at the best player in the league level. Never mind best player at Liverpool.
Okay, did he win it, Husam? Husam, did he win it? So it's a mute point. All right, so then we move on regardless. I'm not saying.
Okay, Torres didn't.
I'm not dismissing.
I don't even
I'm not
believe Fernando Torres
dismissing
won a
Steven
Golden
Gerrard,
Boot
bro.
even at that time. He never even
I'm
won the
not-
Golden Boot, so that's a mute point as well.
What did I just say? I said he's literally one of the elites. We had Didier Drogba at the time, bro. Like, who
Guys,
else is going to win the
Didier
thing during
Drogba
that period
scored
of time?
5 goals in a season.
Guys, you know the
Bro, during that
07
period of time, bro.
you know the
That
2007
was the same
2000
time.
guys, you know the 2007-2008 year when he played behind Fernando Torres in that 10 role, and Zidane said he was the best player in the world that year.
I don't think he did. I
He
think 08, 09 was
Oh,
when
that was
he
08,
played
09,
right
yeah.
wing for a couple of seasons, Stevie.
In the 07-08 game, he played 3 games at right wing and 11 games in the.
07, 08.
Do you know what makes this
He got, hang on, I've got his stats here. He got 21 goals and 18 assists that season.
Do you know what's
Oh, wait.
crazy about Torres and Gerrard as well? They've both finished within the top 3 for Ballon d'Or. They've both been on a podium as well.
Yeah,
This debate, there's a debate to be had, but for me, it's still Gerrard. Still.
So now we're splitting between.
Torres is
Like now
different.
we're literally splitting hairs. Like I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that
we are
Torres had
split-
even-
we-
I
we
I
are
was
splitting
thinking
hairs
about
because I
Torres,
think-
and
I
I didn't
think-
even know he'd even been on a podium. So now
2008.
now that you're telling me that he's been on a podium, I don't want to hear it now. Now I'm definitely saying Fernando Torres. I thought I'm more just basing it just off of, I guess, more just looking at
Yeah,
the
but he
fact
was
that
on the
we
podium
didn't have the
because Spain
striker.
won the Euros. You know how the international football.
Oh, now
acts.
we're doing
Jordi-
up semantics, bro. Like, what
I'm
are
not
you
doing up
Husam?
semantics. Jorginho was on the podium
Yeah.
because Italy won the Euros. That's not semantics
What
at all.
difference does that make?
Guys.
So we're now dismissing him because he was on a podium. Like,
I am
that
not
doesn't make no sense,
dismissing-
bro.
Okay, let's
Guys,
take this. Let's
this
take
is
this
mad.
step back. When
The
it
year
comes to
after.
Suarez,
Jamie's put his
I
glasses
think
on.
I think Suarez was better, but because of what Rom said, the
Of
fact
course
that
Suarez,
this was
yeah.
more towards the end of his career, and he went to play DM
Yeah.
and shit like this, 100%. But with
Yeah,
Torres,
semantics.
definitely
We're doing semantics.
Gerrard at the time, in that 4-year period from 05 till 09, if you went to the playgrounds and had a debate with everyone and looked at anyone in the face and said Steven Gerrard the best midfielder in the world, no one would have talked down on you. No one would have said you have a crazy opinion. None of that stuff. At Liverpool, he still was the best player, and given those individual things that I've just mentioned, you can't make the World 11 winning nothing in a 4-year period by just being like a regular player. This guy was in World 11s next to the best of the best, next to Xavi, next to Iniesta, next to Kaká in midfield. Like, those are the players he was compared to. In that period of time, what he did in 05, 06, the FA Cup final against West Ham, you know, everything that was done over that period of time. I mean, Fernando Torres on an individual level never even won a Premier League Golden Boot. And the reason why he was on that podium in 08 is because of the Euros, because Spain won the Euros and he scored the goal against Germany in the final. That season, we didn't even win anything. And it's been, by the way, it's been proven 100 times. International football will always supersede whatever you do for club. Suarez is a bit different because more towards the tail end of his career. But with Suarez, he was definitely better. But coming back to the original conversation, guys, I am an Arab just like Mo Salah. But I don't give cop-out answers like Rax. Steven Gerrard, for me, is the best player and the greatest player for Liverpool Football Club. I'll tell you why. Steven Gerrard didn't win a league title in 20 years because we were never good enough to win the league title. And the Benitez interview on the overlap proves it. We always had to sell to buy. We always had to do shit like this. The point that G actually made, it works in Gerrard's favor, not against him. I'll tell you for what reason. These players that we do talk about, I mean, Mascherano, really? Seriously? Compared to like the players that Manchester United had? When you look at the likes of Jamie Carragher, Martin Skrtel, Daniel Agger, all had good moments, all had periods of time where they were really good, but they were never Vidic, Rio, etc. level. So we were never really good enough to win a league title.
You don't think Mascherano was
One
class.
One second.
Alonso was world class.
One second.
People diss Carragher. People diss Carragher. Carragher was a very good central defender.
Okay.
Sorry, go. Sam.
You want to do this, Rax? We can do
No,
this.
go on. You go first.
You want to do this? You want to do this?
You go first. I'll go after you.
Okay. Man United. Did you know the Man United 08-09 team? Or do you want me to name the player?
Read out the team.
The 08-09 team from Manchester United. That's who we lost the league title.
Read it, Sam. I want to hear it.
Okay,
I'll read it. No problem.
We lost 2 games. We lost
Van
2
der,
games.
Van der Sar, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic. On the bench, Wes Brown, John O'Shea, Patrice Evra, Gary Neville, Fabio. That's literally just defense right there. Carrick, Hargreaves, Anderson, Fletcher, Scholes, Gibson, Cleverly, Giggs, Park, Nani. Now going forward line, Ronaldo, Rooney, Berbatov, Tevez. There you are.
That's crazy.
You don't think that Mascherano is better than...
Torres was injured. We had to play David and go. That's the difference between us and them. You get me? That's how we win the league.
I know, but
obviously they're bench.
But our strongest 11.
You want to know honestly? Sorry, Rax, I'll say one final thought. You want to know honestly
go.
why we didn't win the league that season?
Draws.
No, because Benitez sent Robbie Keane back to Spurs in January.
Yeah,
and we all knew deep down Torres was gonna get injured. And I would have trusted fucking Robbie Keane up top a lot.
The problem was Husam. I remember that season vividly. Robbie Keane was sent back to Spurs. Why? Because in the first half of the season, he was shit.
He went team up to that.
We bought him. We bought him from Spurs, and we thought, you know what? This is going to be amazing because we got Robbie Keane and Torres. You got Gerrard. You got Mascherano. You got Alonso. I think we signed Riera in the. I was going to say they don't lie. You drank. We had that front six. That was really. But unfortunately, Robbie Keane came to Liverpool and failed, and then we had to send him back to Spurs.
Right, I was going to say, and I think I could speak for all of the panel, and it's a bit of a funny moment, but let's be honest, after his half volley at the Emirates, we thought he would take off.
I thought he would take off, because we had that mismatch kit. I swear it was like red on top and then red on the bottom. Like, it was so annoying.
That was a good finish over the shoulders, half body.
That kit was fucking awful. I'm gonna say it right now. That was a shit kit, bro. One of the shittest kits ever.
Why did we? Oh, we had to wear it.
I will say that it's a fair point to say that in the instance where a Torres gets injured, is it better to have Robbie Keane or not to have him? I agree. It would have been better to have
Robbie Keane
rather than let him go. But that's not to say. But he didn't have a good the first 6 months at Liverpool. He wasn't good.
But then
he wasn't good.
Maybe
you'd rather have him than not.
Yeah, Hope. What was you saying earlier? Something about Hope can't be a Gerrard. He used to say he wouldn't come into form. He wouldn't come into form with the experience he had. So it's...
what are you guys talking about? We had Andre Voronin. Come on.
That's what I said to G. I'm not talking
about the original.
Voronin came afterwards, didn't he? What's wrong?
No, he used to see them before. He would see them. 07 to 8. Used to see them.
David Go had one moment in his whole Liverpool career.
It was a great moment. It was a great moment, though.
David Go, Liverpool win.
We had no Torres and Gerrard that day. I think we had none of them.
It was Benayoun, wasn't it?
I remember David Go scored against this is how shit we were, guys, in the chat, by the way. David Go scored a goal in the Europa League qualifiers against some Romanian team. I think it was Rabat Niki or something. He scored 2 goals and we fucking qualified. That's how fucking shit.
Do you know what, Sam? He had 2 moments. The season after as well, when Joe Cole got sent off in his first Anfield game, I think he scored the equaliser against Arsenal.
You know, when you start looking at a player thinking, you know what, he could be a little bit decent.
You got
the moments kind of players like, I don't know, man. That's a bad error. But
that was a good goal as well. He nearly ripped the net. He nearly broke the net. That was a good goal.
This whole debate is all very like. I think I think Rack said it first, and I prefer to look at it that way anyway, in terms of I don't want to put Gerrard with Salah and vice versa. I can't really do that because you're splitting hairs when we're trying to then decide, because you guys brought up all the stuff about Gerrard did this with this guy, so then Salah basically that's not good. Like, this guy has been a world-class player for eons, since he joined the football club, and what he's done for the football club in helping us win all of these trophies alongside other players. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's difficult. I prefer to just leave Gerrard where he's at. He was that era, yeah, calm when we was there. Now Salah's this era, like kind of thing. I prefer to just look at it more like that, because if I had to pick between the two, you're just splitting hairs. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
What happens if Mo Salah
I'll say
wins
one
2
thing.
more Premier Leagues? What does that change
You are
people's ideas?
correct.
Like,
It is close, and it's not a disrespect to compare either to the other.
No.
no, it's
I
not.
do agree
No,
with
no.
the super chat though. I kept it up on the screen because I do agree with it. I think, and this might sound a little bit dramatic, but look, Steven Gerrard Champions League in 2005 in terms of weight and difficulty. You know, when you're playing a game and it's like the highest difficulty ever. You know, when you're playing a shooting game, you put the most difficult difficulty, and as soon as you put your head out, someone shoots you, you die directly. Like that's 2005 Champions League. That's 2005 Champions League. For me, if we win a league title against Pep Guardiola again, and Mo is our best player, and he has like the most assists in the league and stuff like this,
Undisputed.
then I'm like, you know what? Sorry, Stevie, but it's time to. But right now, listen, for me, 05 Champions League alone, Jimmy Traore,
Yeah.
Jamie Carragher, Finnan, Dudek, Xabi
Smile.
Alonso with no beard and no mustache,
Smile.
Luis Garcia, Harry
That's a
Kewell,
good
Milan Baros.
And Rafa
We beat-
without no beard either. That was a beardless
Let me
Rafa
just
too, no
tell you the team
goatee.
that we beat alone in that final alone. Dida, Maldini, Nesta,
Yeah.
Cannavaro,
Time.
Kaka,
Mad.
Perlo, Gattuso,
Great
Shevchenko, and
Crespo.
Crespo.
They were the best
played
team in the
together.
world at that point. At that
You know what,
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
If you deep that squad, every player is world class in that 11. It was
Yeah, it's
crazy.
mad.
Mad.
It was
You
crazy.
could actually say AC Milan 11, World 11. No problem.
But
Yeah. You could, yeah,
No
you could
problem.
definitely easily say that.
Look,
That-
I would like to give my opinion about this whole scenario. This fence sitting that Husam speaks about. First of maybe full screen. First of all, football is about emotions, right? It's about winning. People say it's only about winning, and I don't subscribe to that, because most of the time when we support Liverpool or support any other club, most of the time you don't win, but you still follow your team, right? Through thick and thin. The great moments like 2005 and the shit moments when, lost the league to Arsenal in the last minute, lost the Champions League final to AC Milan or to Real Madrid, stupid mistakes that were made, things like that. For me, Steven Gerrard feels like, for me, the best Liverpool player, the greatest Liverpool player that I've seen. I understand what the arguments shouts about Mo Salah. Arguably, he is the best. I think there's very little between them. And Salah can't do anything about this. But the fact that Steven Gerrard stayed with us through thick and thin, through times when he had the biggest clubs in the world chasing his signature, that means something to me. As a Liverpool fan, that means something to me. And he also gave me the single most happiest single moment, which was winning the Champions League in the way we won it in 2005. And that's why I would say Steven Gerrard is the greatest. And I think if you say Mo is the best, I think that's fair enough. I would also like to say one thing, though.
Rax, that's Loki's thing
No,
on
no,
the fence.
no.
I
Virgil van Dijk.
I need the number
Virgil
one.
van Dijk. I think
No,
Virgil van Dijk.
before you do Van
is-
Dijk, give me number one. No. I'm not gonna let you do you're on full screen. You
Go
cannot
on.
chicken out on full screen. There is
Go
no
on.
such thing as greatest and best. I want an answer. Number one player for Liverpool Premier League era. Your answer is
Steven Gerrard.
same.
There you go.
Now we can
Okay.
remove you from full screen.
But what I will say that I think Virgil van Dijk is
Virgil
as
been there.
close as possible, if not is the best defender I have ever seen play football. And I've seen everyone from Maldini, Albertini, all the great AC Milan players. I watched football a long time. I think his combination, his skill set to play. People will criticize this era and say that we don't have the technicians in this era, and maybe that's true. But football now, compared to football in the early 2000s, for example, is a completely different sport. The pace that you play at now means that the technique, that to pull off the technique and execute the technique that some of those players have, wouldn't be possible. The engine you need to have to play these days. Some of those players may not have been able to play in this era just simply because they didn't have the physical attributes to play at that level. I think Van Dijk is head and shoulders above any other Premier League player, central defender. And for that reason, in my opinion, he needs to be spoken in these terms as well, because as in terms of best, he's the best, arguably the best centre-back ever, in my opinion, and therefore has to be up there in this conversation.
Do you know what, Sam? Your question was obviously Premier League era, so it's only two names, which we Salah and Gerrard. But you know, if you used to say greatest overall, it's relative to when you're born. Because my uncles and my dad, they say Dalglish. He pretty much run everything. They don't even think about it. They just say Kenny Dalglish. So obviously, you said Premier League era specifically, so it's only out of two names. But if you say overall, I can't say Dalglish. I wasn't allowed to see it. Mine would still be overall be Gerrard, but Premier League era is Salah. But people that born 70s, 80s, they say Dalglish off the top of their head. They don't even think about it.
My dad does. My dad always said
So does mine. So does mine.
Yeah.
I say John Barnes.
For me, Dalglish number one. I'm sorry, he's king Kenny Dalglish.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I said about the whole era thing.
Even
It's
without
like,
watching him, I've never watched him
difficult.
live. He's number one. I'm sorry.
Because even the definition of great,
Guys, you need to deep
how
this.
much you've
You know,
been in.
Rams, because people don't deep this. We were Real Madrid before fucking Real Madrid. People are sucking off Real Madrid right now. We dominated Europe, only English team in history who dominated England and Europe at the same time. Man United didn't do it. Man City didn't do it. No one fucking did it like we did. We won 4 Champions Leagues in 9 fucking years. Essentially a Champions League every 2 years. And of course, we fucking dominated England as well. That doesn't...
It was I think it was 5 league titles in that 8-year span as well.
Yeah.
Even Sir Alex hasn't had a more successful 9-year period than we
You're
did.
calling him
Did
Sir
you-
Alex. Liverpool
Can I just-
Oh, yeah.
Can I just comment to Matty? Matty Gorman just posted the
Sir
comment.
Alex down here. You cannot say Sir Alex down here.
Yeah. Forget
Ferguson or
that,
Fergie.
man.
The only Sir we know here is Sir Kenny Dalglish.
So the only sir is my old head teacher. That's it. I just want to comment quickly on something that Matty Gorman said. Look, I'm not disrespecting Alan Hansen. I watched part of Alan Hansen, but it was the tail end of his career. So when elders talk about him and the glowing way they speak about him, I'm not going to disrespect him. But what I'm saying is that physically, okay, people went in with crazy tackles back then. But would Alan Hansen have been able to play in an ultra high line and be as dominant as Virgil van Dijk, for example? I understand, and it's a difficult comparison, but what I'm saying now is football now compared to football in the 2000s is a completely different sport. If you compare football now to football in the 80s, I think there's an even bigger discrepancy. Like, watch some of those old games. It's really, really slow. You had the back pass rule. The back pass rule wasn't there. It's different.
But for me,
I respect that opinion. I respect that opinion.
Yeah,
but this is why.
At the same time, 20 years ago, Trent wouldn't have even been a right back. He would have been right midfielder, whipping balls.
This is why I say David Beckham. If David Beckham played today, he would be a right back.
Yeah. Dwight McNeil. Let me read these super chats before carrying on. Big up
McNeil.
Big up to Sierra who says, thanks for inspiring me to start my own channel. Listen, big up to everyone who starts their own channel, everyone who starts their own journeys. Good luck to everyone. Go subscribe to G's channel. Go subscribe to Jamie Phillips' channel. Follow Rax and Roms on Twitter, all of their channels. You get me in the description. Oh, happy again. You were trolling me last time. We're top of the group now, motherfucker. Hold that on your head. Fraud. Stevie scored so many goals in finals. Yes, he's actually the only English player in history to have scored the goal in every single type of final. Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and it was called Milk Cup at the time, and the Champions League final, of course, so yeah. Big up to Vibes FC, who says it was 6 leagues in 9 and 4 UCLs in 7.
That's
is
mad.
what Vibes FC says. Yeah, we're looking at a longer stretch, but yeah, 6 leagues in 9 and 4 UCLs. Bro,
That's
we
mad.
fucking dominated. Also, I have to say, Van der Vaart, please don't apply extra pressure to my boy. Let him breathe. Let him live.
Yeah, just relax.
I agree with you, though, but just don't say it out loud. Anyway, big up to all of you guys. We're going to wrap up the stream here. This is going to take you to Saad's Football Corner, where Roms is going, actually. So stay here. I want you to spam his chat with 6 UCLs because we're raiding an Arsenal channel. We have to make our presence be known. Hey, Saad, let me go get it.
The pettiness.
You're never going to sing it. You're never going to sing it, you bastard, Saad. You're never going to sing it.
It's just such a beautiful trophy. It's just such a beautiful trophy.
You have to spam it in Saad's chat. If all of you aren't spamming 6 UCLs, you're a failure. I want you to spam this in the chat. Go subscribe to G's channel, Jamie's channel, Rax's Twitter, and Ramza's Twitter. Thank you guys so much for an unbelievable stream. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah, on Al Ahwa. North London Derby preview. Peace.